Talking with Turo.
Guys, today I have a very special guest. I say that every time, but this is very special this time. So fucking special because this is Chancla Academy Joe. And I never say his last name because it just sounds cool to say Joe at Chancla Academy. So how you feeling today, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, me too. I'm so glad you agreed to do this, dude. I know you're a busy guy. You've been up to a lot of stuff. So I have so many questions, dude. Like curiosity, like I have, it's just everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
So one thing for sure that I wanted to start with is like when I discovered you, it was the skits. The funny shit that you do, like the whole chancla, the wig and all that stuff. Is that how you started? Like when exactly did you start Chancla Academy, or were you doing these things before the name Chancla Academy came?
Well, I mean, I'm not, new to social media. Like prior to all this stuff, I used to do something like I was like part of like the Disney like culture and stuff because I lived in Florida.
Okay.
And I did that for I had like almost like 150,000 followers like at that time or something.
Really?
Yeah. Like I wasn't new to the like the big numbers and all that stuff or whatever. When
I mean, that's pretty big though, 150.
Yeah, and then I got tired of that, and I started like my own social media platform and stuff, and then I just like got off of social media for like a year.
Wait, hold on. So don't forget what you're gonna say. But how did you get to the 150,000?
Talking shit.
Really?
Yeah, well, I would call out social media influencers in the Disney community based on
Okay.
These people were doing like very nefarious things, like taking advantage of people or like bullying people. So it was never like it wasn't like, oh, let's just build a tea for fun. But you know, that was like an angsty part of me at that time where I was just like, that's what was popular. So I kind of grew from that, and then I went to do my own social media platform, which was successful.
Very nice.
And then I kind of got tired of everything, and I said, you know what, I need a break to kind of like recalibrate.
Okay.
But like long story short, to where we got to the beginning, COVID hit. My grandmother passed away.
Oh,
I
I'm
wound up
sorry.
no, it's okay. I ended up getting COVID myself, and my daughter was like, "Hey, you don't like taking pictures, you don't like doing anything. Let's like make a digital memory book. Let's do it on TikTok." And I was like, "Oh God, this app!" And so the first video I made was of me and my grandmother. I wore a T-shirt as a wig, and I was always trying to convince my grandma to get an Amazon Alexa, and she's like, "Well, I don't need that because." You know, I have the kids from next door, and she's like, Alejandro, turn on the light. And the little webco would go turn on the light or whatever. And that hit pretty big. It got like 8.8 million views. And then at that time, I wasn't Chancla Academy yet. I was Confessions of a Poor Family at that time.
Oh wow.
And
On TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to share what it was like to grow up like poor.
Yeah.
And then that really took off and stuff. And then somebody was like, well, you know, it'd be really cool to get like a Confessions of a Poor Family shirt and all. So I was like, oh, merch. But I didn't know what to call it at the time. It was so confusing. And I remember I finished high school and my grandmother was going to come and hit me with her chancla, dude. And she's like, oh, no. You graduated. You passed. So, years later, like me and my wife were talking about it, and we're like, I feel like because I'm a huge Bullet Club fan. That's why the first shirt kind of looks Bullet Clubbish. And we're like, oh, we should make the Chancla Club. That'd be cool. And my wife's like, no, like, you know, Chancla School, Chancla. And then we were like, she goes, Chancla Academy. And I was like, hold on.
That's it.
Like, you got something there. So I went and told everybody. I went live. I told everybody about it. And then I changed the name officially, and people were like, yeah. And then like just like out of nowhere, I was just like, where your life lessons begin. And I just gave myself goosebumps that day, and I was just like, I got something. And then that's what Chancla Academy ended up becoming, was all the life lessons you could ever learn as a Latino and just growing up poor. Yeah. And then now it's expanded now in the sense that it's becoming more of a national sense. Like it's all the content that I do is very relatable amongst, you know, African Americans, Asians, you know, white people.
So it's not just Latinos.
It's just not Latinos. You start to realize that when everything you've ever been through, and then you have other cultures, especially people from like Korea or Argentina, like message you, and they're like, "Hey, man, I'm not Mexican, and I went through that." And it's just like, oh, okay. So now we're focused on becoming a national brand for everybody. So that's how we ended up here,
dude. That's so dope, man. And I guess so. The when the light bulb came on for the Chancla Academy name, was that in 2020?
Yeah, that was like I want to say like 3 or 4 months after I started TikTok. Yeah. So it changed really, really fast. And I remember going to bed that night and I had 1,000 followers. And I woke up to like 52K.
On TikTok?
Yeah, on TikTok. Like I woke
Wow.
up to 52K.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And at that point, I was a little ahead of myself. Nobody was still working. People were still living off of like, unemployment or whatever.
Or the stimmies.
Yeah.
Stimulus checks, yeah.
So I told him, I was like, I think I need to just do this full time
Yeah.
and just see what comes of it. And
Mhm.
I've been blessed, man, for the last 2.5 years. I've never
Yeah.
had to go back to work.
Dude, I remember you when you asked me to call you that night, that you were saying, hold on, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That you told me that, dude, that like, you don't believe in the whole 9 to 5. And well, not only that, but like you believe there's more to do than just a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of you, man, that
Thank you.
you've reached that point to where you don't have to go back to work.
Yeah.
I had another girl on here recently, a couple days ago, Fatima, and what we talked about, dude, was like entrepreneurship or like working for yourself or
Right.
like making money when you sleep. Like to me, dude, that's like really important, and that's where I want to be,
Yeah.
And in my opinion, dude, this is just the beginning for you, dude. So you're gonna be blessed more, bro. It's coming, man. Like it's gonna be great. So fast forward, now it's Chancla Academy. Were you big on Instagram, on using it? Because I feel like I like Instagram more than TikTok. But
I wasn't really like fond of Instagram at the moment because of like the merger with Facebook and that things got like really weird on how to use the platforms together now.
yeah.
But then I told myself, I was like, you know what? I need to make a commitment to posting at least once a day on there. And so all I was
Okay.
doing was taking TikTok content, reposting it on Instagram.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I knew that people on Instagram a lot of them don't watch TikTok.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Yeah.
that's going to be new for them. And
Okay.
so I want to say I started posting on Instagram maybe like 3 months ago. And over the 3 months, I'm now at like
I saw that.
84,000
Yeah.
followers.
Dude, that's so badass, man. Like in my mind, dude, I was like, this guy's doing something right,
Yeah.
But then again, you post consistently, don't you? Like
Yeah,
at least like every day.
Yeah, I post consistently. I don't post in like real life every day, but what I do is I batch record. So I take a bunch of content ideas that I have and I just repurpose them. I mean, a lot of my content from Instagram is old content on TikTok, like from 2 years ago.
For really?
Yeah. And that stuff's blowing up like I just did it yesterday.
Yeah.
But I've gotten I've gotten really strategic, and we have this saying in the social media world is old content is new content.
Oh, okay.
So, 3,000 people may have seen that two years ago.
But it's okay.
It's okay, but it's fresh to these people now. And so I've gotten smart about it. And lately I haven't really been posting a whole bunch of new stuff, but it's my break time. So I'm just kind of like, let me chill out for a minute. But yeah, dude, I mean, you have to be dedicated, to want to do it.
Yeah.
And if you're smart, you don't let it take over you. So, but we're doing good. We're doing really good with it. So
That's good, man. From that point, when you started getting more followers and all that, when did the idea of the Chancla Fest come about?
oh my God, let me tell you, Chancla Academy festival was supposed to be just Chancla Academy Fest. It failed 3 times
Really?
before we got to this point.
Shit.
So the idea of it fell through 3 times. It never got to the point where we were at this past year. At first, I hit up the Tejano community because I wanted to do like Tejano and rock together, and I had this whole idea, this very elaborate idea, and this was supposed to be like a big melting pot of all Latinos getting together,
Like from all genres.
all genres.
Yeah,
It was supposed to be this really cool thing,
That sounds
and we got pretty close, and then the Tejano community was like, nah. And then the second time, it was just like a funding issue. The third time, I had just started talking about it again, and then I gave up on it because I was just like, you know what? It's not my time.
Yeah.
So I actually I've been good friends with Rocco from West Creek for a long time.
Okay.
He was the first guy to like jump on board with Chancla Academy. And then I met John, and I told John my idea, and then John was like, we're going to make this happen.
Nice.
And he put me in contact with certain people, and we got some stuff done. And then it just, through hard work, it happened. And it was just like, it was good to have somebody to really believe in your goals and your dreams. And that's what I've needed for a long time.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
John is a huge, huge part of why Chancla Academy Rock Festival worked to begin with.
That's
Because
good.
if he didn't light that fire under my ass, because he was just like, we already got this going, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god, now I have to raise money. So
Uh,
I'm like, oh. So but luckily good karma. I helped a lot of small businesses out throughout the last 2 years, and they all came together and said, we'll sponsor you.
oh, dude. Okay, let's talk about that real quick, and then we'll come back to the
Yeah.
festival because I was wondering that too. I noticed on your Instagram, like you'll do like little funny skits at like food trucks and like restaurants.
Yeah.
When did that start happening? When they would reach out to you for that?
Oh, it was funny because I'm not like a real food critic or anything like that, but I had did a video for some small restaurant and it blew up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it blew up, and because I took a different take. Like people don't want to. You see a foodie video, you're like, okay, you're showing me the food. Okay,
Yeah,
how many
yeah.
hot dogs or how many tacos have you seen? Like, you know what they look like, right?
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a different take. I'm gonna do
Uh-huh.
a comedy skit, and I'm gonna share my experience with the food.
With the food.
Yeah, and but these are all real experiences that I've had, like when I go out with my friends to eat.
Okay.
This is how we act. This is what we do.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people are like, I'm over here talking about a big old sausage having a butthole, and it's just like people are at the end of it, they're like, I want hot dogs. But I did a lot of research, and you look at stuff like Doritos and all these other commercials.
Okay.
They have nothing to do with the product,
Yeah.
but people
Yeah.
want the product. So how do you do that subliminally? So we did that, and that's what I started working on. And then restaurants saw that I was like actually giving my honest opinion about their food, and they're like, we will pay you to come shit on our food.
Oh, that's so badass.
And I was just like, well, what if it's good? And they're like, well, there's got to be something bad. But it worked out in their favor because now teaching them how these things work, they now know that, hey, they can improve on their food and their business. And that's what they wanted. They wanted honesty,
Okay.
and that's how that came to be with the food reviews. Because, I mean, they were sick and tired of just having influencers come on and lie, saying their food was good, but their business wasn't booming. And then they just took advantage of getting free food. And then they saw me come around, and they're like, what do we need to do to get you in here to be honest about our business? And it just blew up.
Yeah.
It fucking blew up, and people loved it. And I still do it from time to time. But, yeah, I mean, people want honesty nowadays, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's important too, man. It is kind of hard to say the truth. I mean, like some people don't want to hear it, but I think it's a more genuine thing to do, And when you were doing those reviews for the food places, did that help grow your channel too for like TikTok and Instagram?
Oh yeah, of course. There's a lot of things I've learned that I can't be a one trick pony. I can't always just do skits, right?
Yeah.
But how do I take something I love and incorporate it into something else, and then go to the next level? So, one day I'm doing videos with my daughter, like me and my daughter in real life content, and then skits, and then food reviews, or talking about music or whatever it is, and then just telling like random stories or whatever. So I mean, it's really helped out a lot. So I mean, that's part of it. But if I never would have done that the food stuff, I would have never met a lot of these amazing business owners.
Okay.
And Chancla Academy Rock Fest would not have happened if
Yeah.
I've not have done that. So I think it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Or I think it was one of those things too, man. That it was just meant to be, Like when I was talking with Fatima, bro, when she came in here, I told her that like lately in my life, I feel like everything's happening the way it's supposed to happen when it happens,
Yeah.
So just like how you said that it didn't work out the first 3 times with the festival, it just wasn't meant to happen right then and there,
Yeah.
This time it did. And I think it's also full circle with karma, like you said.
Yeah.
Because you help these people out, you put them on there, and then they came back and said, hey, man, we will invest in you to make this festival happen. That's so fucking dope, dude.
Yeah.
So is that the only way that you gain investors? Because I know you have people who believe in you, so they don't mind like, hey, man, we'll invest into this for you to make this happen. Were there other ways that you got investors, or was it because of the food stuff that you were able to open doors?
It wasn't just the food stuff. I mean, I have followers. I had 2 followers of mine. One invested $5,500. The other one invested $3,500.
Wow.
Out of their own pocket.
Wow, dude.
And it wasn't even that I asked them. They
offered.
They offered. They're like, what do I need to do to help you get to the
like
next
push yourself.
Yeah. And, you know, I honestly put it out there. I'm like, this is where we're at. This is the funding that we need. And they're like, okay, well, let me like give you this much.
Oh my God. It's so awesome.
And so the good thing out of that was like they see the product and they see what it's becoming and they want to be in that.
Yeah, they believe in it, dude.
Yeah. And so it doesn't hit you. Like, it's one thing to get a sponsorship from like Twang, for example. You know, I only met Twang like twice and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. Or, you know, I hate to say it this way, but Iguana Burritos, who's from California, they were the first investors.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I hit up so many people in San Antonio and I got shut down so fast. But I guess the moment they saw that, they're like, whoa, what do we do? But yeah, no, I mean, to have your very own following come to you and be like, what can we do? What do we need to do to make it happen? Yeah. And I mean, I
love it.
Yeah. I believe in fate and it's been crazy.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
There's, have you ever heard of the Nelk Boys?
That sounds familiar to me.
Like Steve Will Do It. What about Steve Will Do It?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Steve Will Do It. I guess he's back on the Nelk Boys because he left for a little while to do his own thing.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. Okay. So the Nelk Boys, bro, and Full Send Podcast. I found out about them because they had Andrew Tate on there, and before I was like, who the fuck is Andrew Tate? What is this hubbub about?
He's the top G, baby.
Top J. I'm like, why is everybody making a post about him and like talking shit and also saying good things? Let me find out who he is. So I typed into Google, who is Andrew Tate? He says on his interviews, I'm the most Google man in the world. If you Google me right now. Anyways, so I found out about them through him. Well, then I also found out that they made their own seltzer in 2021. It's called Happy Dad.
Yeah, I've heard about Happy Dad.
And I tried it myself and I became a fan, dude. I was like, dude, this is great. Like, the carbonation's so low. You know when you drink your soda, you're like, it burns your throat.
You don't like it to pica or what?
Nah, I don't like the pica. Well, okay, hold on. I will say this. I don't care for the pica. Like, I'll drink a Topo Chico. Like, that's a lot of pica. You know what I'm saying? But it's good to have a seltzer that you can drink like water.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So the reason why I'm bringing this up, dude, is because they also had someone come up to them and said, hey, man, I love what you're doing. You have 70 million subscribers to your YouTube channel. What can I do to help you? And then that's when Kyle was like, well, I always wanted to make my own seltzer. So, dude, they met with investors. They met with, like, they had so many meetings and so many, like, demos or, not demos, prototypes.
Yeah.
Before they found the flavor that they like. And I think it's so fucking cool, dude, that someone believes in you so much to help you get something going.
Yeah.
And now Happy Dad is in Texas, California, like all these states, dude. And they're getting their own money for their own drink. They're not, like, even Kyle said, dude, like, they got turned down a couple times. Like you said, you got turned down a couple times. Dude, they got turned down a couple times with, like, Corona and other beers because I guess he said when he met with them, like, they were too edgy.
Yeah.
Like, you know how those beers have been around for a long time, so their fan base is going to be a little bit older than us, our group, you know what I'm saying? So that's why they were like, you know what, fuck it, dude, let's just do it ourselves. And then someone came through and said, we'll give you this amount of money and we'll help you do it. And now, dude, it's fucking booming.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see when you see things like that. Like, I was shocked myself because it's like, who in their right mind gives a guy, I mean, I could be anybody, you know what I mean? It's different to have a social media presence and be trusted on there, but I could be anybody. I could have taken off with all of that money, deleted my Facebook account, moved back to Florida. Yeah. Nobody would have ever found me, you know. Maybe they would have, but I mean, I could have. I mean, that's a lot of money to, you know, to have at one time. I mean, I didn't have it all at one time, but I mean, it was like I could have been anybody.
Yeah.
But the fact that they took a huge
gamble,
risk.
Yeah.
It's a huge risk. That festival could have flopped. It could have. I mean, and for me, I mean, the way I went into it is I always go into everything with very low expectations.
Yes, dude.
Because if that way I'm not disappointed at the end of the day. But I think with the foundation that I've created with my community, they really came out and said, we're here for you.
Yeah.
And that has opened so many doors.
So many doors.
Yeah,
dude. Dude, it's funny that you say that because wait, I'm sorry. What did you just say right now? Bro?
Opening doors.
No, before that. It was a comment that you said. I was gonna say something about it. I was gonna add on to it. You said
I don't remember.
God damn it.
This is why I don't even fucking smoke or nothing. I don't know. I'm bad with long-term memory. No, I mean, it just the fact that these people like took a chance on me, like that was the risk. And if I could have just, like I said, I could have taken off with the money.
Yeah.
I could have done something else with it, but I'm sorry. I'm trying to help you remember. And I just,
It's cool. I'm glad you went back to that. No, man, but that's dope though, dude. Like they took a chance on you, and you delivered. I think that's really really admirable, man. Like I said, I'm gonna keep saying I'm proud of you, dude. You're gonna hear me say it again and again and again.
Thank you.
Because like a lot of people will have dreams, man. They'll have goals, like right. But some of them won't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're already making the right moves, and it's almost like everything is already working in your favor, almost like there's a design in front of you that you're already fitting into.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wake up every morning and think like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
what are they, what are they thinking? You know what I mean? Because if I was that business, I'd probably be like, no,
Mm-hmm.
But I must be doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think these big, like being able to work with big organizations like South Texas Blood and Tissue, like what do they want with a foul mouth, brown guy like me? But they, I signed a 1-year contract with them to make content for them and host their blood drives. It's crazy because you think about it, it's like they could put their money into anybody else, but they put it into me.
Yeah.
Now I can say this, but not officially, but South Texas Blood and Tissue, while they couldn't officially be a sponsor, they hired me for a job and they gave me the right amount of money I needed to sponsor my festival.
Wow, dude.
Like they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Like they're like, hey, look, we'll just hire you for videos. We'll give you the money that you're asking that you need, which was $2,000, and they gave it to me, and I fucking put it towards what I needed.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
So, with these new doors opening and opportunities, is that how you've been able to like invest a little bit more in your future endeavors because like they're asking you to make content for them?
Yeah, that's how I've been doing it. It's just I have so much stuff. Like I literally have the next 2 years planned out.
Wow.
And I already have things set already in place.
Motion or okay, in place.
They're already like dates are already put in.
Nice.
We already know what we're gonna do on May 3rd at 3:33 p.m. Like we already know.
Yeah.
It's crazy to kind of see everything develop the way it is, and obviously I'm still growing, and there are a lot of things that I want to do. But it's like, okay, so what are the next necessary steps that we have to take to make sure that happens?
Yeah.
But again, I do, man. Look, man, and for anybody listening, that before y'all think that, it's because he has a big following and stuff. The amount of fucking research I do, the amount of work that I put into, okay, if I'm gonna do this thing, I need to make sure that one, I got my research done. Okay. I know the market. I, understand the story I'm gonna tell. How is it gonna relate to everybody? You got to put in the work to make your thing work.
Yeah.
But the biggest advice from all of that is like, for anybody that tells you, well, do it. Well, that's exactly what I did. I did it. You got to believe in yourself. You really got to believe in yourself.
Dude, it all starts like with the mental thing, man. You have to believe that it's real. You have to believe that it's coming, dude, or it's just not gonna fucking happen, dude.
I can't even tell you how much manifesting has worked for me.
Really?
I thought that I thought that was bullshit.
Really?
So check this out. This is funny.
No, go ahead.
Before I was ever on the news, I would tell people, yeah, I'm gonna be on the news in a few weeks. I'm gonna be on the news. I got an interview coming up.
Yeah.
I was never gonna be on the fucking news, but I would just put it into existence.
Yeah.
And then I've been on the news like 7 times.
Dude.
So it's like,
you're saying it too, like you're bringing it to existence.
I'm saying
dude.
it, And now don't get me wrong, not everything I say is a matter. Like, if I tell you something, it's happening. But
I'm gonna have chorro at 4 a.m.
But there's a lot of things that I think the biggest thing is, if you want something, speak it into existence and it'll happen. But you got to believe that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like when the news thing presented itself, something happened. And then I made a video, and then boom, it was like, we want to bring you on. Yeah. Yep. And it was just like, I needed to continue to do this more.
Was it KSAT that reached out to you?
No, it was Fox News.
Fox News
reached out to me first.
Oh my goodness.
And it was crazy because Mady Gomez, who's no longer there, I love that woman to death. I went in and I was like, oh, okay, we're just gonna do a segment about Chancla Academy and we're gonna promote like something or whatever. This woman has been following me for a year. I didn't even know that.
Oh shit.
And she's just like, I didn't know what to do because she's just like, you're putting San Antonio on the map and the west side. Like she was just really like, hyping me up, and I was just like, like
you didn't know what to say, right?
I didn't know what to say. I don't ever know what to say. Like I know you tell me you're proud of me, right? But it's like, I don't know how to handle that. I think I've always been taught to just do.
Yeah.
And you can get all the pats on the back in the world, but that's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
Getting recognized is not going to change anything. You just got to keep
going.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so glad that you mentioned that because Gary Vee one day said, just keep pumping out content. Just keep fucking doing it. Who cares if not everyone watches it or listens to it? So at first I was like, man, I don't want to post this shit because no one's gonna fucking watch it. And now I do, dude. Like the little covers that you'll see me do, like the reels,
thumbnails and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude. Like now I'm doing that more, and I'm like, who cares if nobody fucking watches it? I'm just gonna put it out there anyway. You know, it's important to do that because that's doing the footwork, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think I remember what I was gonna say now. So when it comes to doing research, like some of my guests, like I'll try to do my homework. You know, I'll try to like look at their content, look at their history. Find them on, you can find anything about anybody.com. No, playing.
Where's that at? I need to find out about that Sancho my wife was with the other day.
What's his name? No, wait.
Tell me.
But yeah, dude, so I try to do my homework because that's also important too. So no, it's not just affirmation and manifestation.
Right.
You also need to do the necessary steps to make things happen.
Yeah.
So with that being said, bro, going back to the festival now, because we already established that you opened a lot of doors with just you doing things, bro. In general, no one told you to do it. You're doing it yourself, which I encourage everyone out there watching too. Like if you have dreams and ambition, just fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing should stop you. So when it came time to get this festival together, did Alamo Beer Company reach out to you or you reached out to them?
So I talked to Felicia at Alamo Beer and I told her what I wanted to do. And she was just like, well, if you have nowhere to throw it, you can do it here.
Wow.
And I go, okay. What's the catch? What's going to be the pitch? This is how much we charge, da, 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 da. And she goes, look, we truly believe in you and we think that you can make this happen.
Beautiful.
And, we need to come up with a plan together. And she goes, look, we'll back you 100% on a lot of things that you need. And that's including in the future. Okay. So we said, what can we do? And it wasn't necessarily their idea. We both kind of came to the conclusion that it needed to be free.
Oh, okay.
So we were just like, I go, look, if I don't stand to make a dime from this, can it be free? Because I thought like, oh, it's a venue. They're going to charge because they need to make their
money for the day. Yeah.
And they're like, well, if you can promise us that you're going to bring people and we make our money from like beer and food, then it'll be free.
Wow.
And so I said, oh shit. Okay. Now I got to like really do this.
Now you got to hustle.
Now I got to hustle. But I already knew I had the community. And dude, I'll be honest with you. I was only expecting maybe like 200-300 people, but
how many showed up?
2,510.
Oh my
people.
God, dude.
Throughout the day, we had 2,510. I had a really good friend of mine. He brought his like LiDAR technology and stuff, and he was able to like count people and stuff. That thing's accurate. The same fat guy can walk in and out, and it'll know it's the same person. And then we did a lot of like I was telling you earlier, we did a lot of consensus of like who was there for what and why, and we took all the data that we had, and that was something that we presented to Alamo Beer. And they were really, really impressed. The owner, Patrick, was so impressed. He saw the crowd. Mind you, this guy was in Austin.
And he came down here just to see the crowd?
Like, no, he was there in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Like, he was there in the morning, and then he saw the crowd coming in, and he's like, oh, shit, okay. So then he left, and then 2 hours prior to the main event, he heard about the crowd, and he drove all the way from Austin back to San Antonio just because he had to see it for himself. And he saw the crowd, man, and he was just like, what do we need to do to get you to come back here again?
Oh, my goodness.
And dude. I was like, I don't know, man. I'm done. I don't want to do anymore. I went home. This is a true story. I got in. My best friend was there with me, and he got in the car with me, and I broke down crying in my car not because of the event, but because my feet hurt so much.
Oh shit.
And I was just like, God, dude, I've never felt the pain like that in my life. But
Yeah.
he's like, oh, you're doing good, man. I'm proud of you. I was like, no, bro, my fucking feet hurt. I was like, I don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I felt like, I mean, it was a lot of things, but
Yeah.
Alamo Beer was really, really impressed.
Dude, that's so dope. And before we started rolling, I know I made a comment about how you've been handling things. I feel like you're being very humble about it, which is a good thing. But also try to remember, man, that you deserve the recognition that you're getting because of the work that you're putting in. You're working hard. This isn't an easy thing to do, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And just from time to time, just kind of reflect on yourself, dude, and say that I did it.
Yeah.
And it's not over,
Yeah, I do that in my personal time. I'm just like, all right, so what's the next thing I'm gonna do? And I think working with all these, like now we're gonna work with Techport even more closely, and then Alamo Dome. I think that's my way of saying that's how I know I did it.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell people I did it. They'll know that I did it because they're like, well, damn, he's at the Alamo Dome now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we even have the commission from Poteet Strawberry Festival.
Really?
They're like, what can we do to get you on our grounds to do an actual full-on fest with 10 other stages? It will provide all of this stuff for you.
Yeah.
So it's I know I'm doing it because of the reaction that I'm getting from big companies.
Okay.
And hearing them say we need you says a lot.
Yes. I can't imagine how good that must feel.
Oh, it feels amazing. It feels amazing. To hear to have these big corporate suits, especially like at Boeing. There's this guy named Paco. I love that guy. He's pretty cool. He introduced me to a couple of suits from Boeing, and he's
really,
like, he was just like, this is the man that's shaking up the music scene in San Antonio. This is what we need. And I'm kind of just standing there, just kind of like, all right, I gotta go, Paco.
He's like, no, wait, I have to introduce it to more people.
No, and it's these people like that don't know you, that just see you. I mean, I'm never gonna see them again, but to just get that recognition,
right.
I mean, these people have, dude. I live 4 minutes away from Techport. I live right by John F. Kennedy High School in the crappiest apartments. I don't have a big house. I have a used car. I'm just a guy from the hood. Yeah. And I'm doing it, and I think people need to see that. And that's why I think it's so important that when I show like where I'm from and stuff, and people don't, I think that's why people probably don't believe me sometimes. Okay. How's this vato? He probably gets food stamps or something. No.
Well, I mean, also too, how we talked about earlier, man. I mean, there's people that will naturally hate for some reason. I don't know why. They just have this natural way of being like, look at this fucking guy. Or someone else would be like, dude, look at this fucking guy, you know? With the tech pork and all that, they were reaching out to you?
So it was funny because with Jim, I actually met Jim at a Motionless in White concert.
Oh, shit. And
so this is pre festival. I got introduced to Jim by a friend of mine who invited me to go. I wasn't even going to go.
Yeah.
But my wife's like, I'm leaving with my aunt and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, then I should just go.
Yeah, like I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah. And then I get there, and then I'm talking to Jim, and I didn't know who he was at all. I was just telling him my idea. And he goes, oh, let's set up a meeting.
Wow.
Let's make it happen. Again, I'm thinking, oh, this guy works for another company, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I get an email. And I read the email, and then right at the bottom, it says Jim Pershbach, CEO of Techport.
Oh, dude, that's so dope.
And I was just like, oh, fuck, what did I get myself into? Like,
some good shit.
I don't know how to, like, present myself to these kind of people. Met him. I was super nervous. Found out that him and I both worked for the Walt Disney Company for a little while.
Oh, okay.
He had some, like, posters and stuff of, like, what they're going to turn Techport area into.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
shit.
I was like, oh, that reminds me of Tomorrowland. And then the Disney conversation came up. And then we just started talking. I told him about what I was trying to do. And he goes, listen, I am going to do whatever it takes to make that happen here. So then they had Fiesta de los Niños. And I said, well, he told his team, if you're going to bring musical acts, you need to bring in Joe. So they hired me to do the musical acts. So I brought in 6 local bands who have never played on a big stage like that. They had their name in big lights.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
And then Jim is there, and I pull out from the curtain because I'm at the arena, and Jim is just there, and he goes, I was like, oh, God, I did something wrong.
Oh, shit.
So I tell him, I was like, hey, man, how's everything going? He goes, Joe, you are doing an amazing job. Thank you
Dude.
so
And
much.
that's the CEO of Tech
That's the
Port Arena.
CEO.
Dude.
And then his little henchman that is called Stephanie comes. She gets there and she's like, Joe, Jim is so impressed and we need to do this sooner rather than later.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I don't know how sooner is that. And I had approached Jim though too, because things can change.
Oh yeah.
I told Jim, I was like, hey Jim, like Strawberry Festival Grounds wants me to have fest there next year. His face just like almost looked angry. He's like, well, why don't you want to do it here? And I was like, no, Jim, I'm just trying to make sure like we're good, right? Like this is gonna happen. He's like, yes. And then he like literally the next day I got an email of the two people I have to set up to coordinate the whole thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
So he's just like, no, you're crazy. Like we're doing it here.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I got that in the bag. But yeah,
dude.
Yeah. And then I posted my thing to the group photo I had with the crowd. So Victor, his name, he goes by I am Tito on Instagram. He is the event coordinator or like manager for events at the Alamo Dome. So he's the guy that decides, what happens there. And he put in his comments, see you at Alamo Dome soon.
Oh my God, dude, that's awesome.
I nearly passed out when I saw that comment. Nearly passed out. And then he called me a couple of days ago and he's like, you ready? Like,
you better tell him, yes, sir, right away, sir.
I'm ready whenever you want it. But it's amazing to see that. I think the goal with everything that's happening is we hope to take Chancla Academy, which we're not going to call festival anymore. It's going to be called Chancla Academy's Rock Out.
I like it.
And then we hope to take it on a tour by 2026.
Ooh, that's good. That's beautiful, man. With the first Chancla Academy Fest, dude, was it a hassle to try to get Upon a Burning Body to headline?
I want to say, well, yes and no, only because, obviously you have to talk to their managers first, see if they're available, what's that going to cost and all that stuff. So yeah, in the beginning it was, but then I met Danny and the rest of the guys and they were super humble about everything at the time. And I told them what this was. And then it was just like easier, at that time. And then, then they were there and everybody, I mean, we had people saying that they haven't seen a pond in forever.
Yeah.
So it was really good for them to be a part of that show. Some of these kids were with their parents.
Yeah.
On their shoulders, and they've always listened to a pond, but to share a moment together where they're seeing them live,
that's great, man.
They loved it. So it was good to have them there.
After the festival, is that when you started planning for like the future Chancla Academy shows, or like did you already have it planned before that first
It
one?
was planned for me before I even did it, because I'm telling you, Techport was like, when I had made the first post announcement saying that Techport was the future home of Chancla Academy Rockfest, because originally it was going to happen there first.
Oh,
but,
gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
it was going to happen there for this year, but then
gotcha.
Jim was like, "No, we need more time."
Oh,
and there was a lot of stuff that we needed to go over.
Yeah,
and then me and John were like, kind of like, we need to do something this year, and we did it in 3 months. And we said, well, let's show Jim that we don't need a year to plan. And man, was I wrong. Man, I was wrong. But we did it, but we already had booked Techport before it even happened. And then Alamo Dome reached out and was like, what do we got to do to bring it over here?
Oh my God.
And I'm all like, oh, okay, well, we already have like 2 and 3, already planned out. But it's been a blessing. I can't.
Yeah, of course.
I can't ask for more.
Of course, man.
So I don't even know what to do with all of it right now. I'm just like, we're already planning for next year. We're going to start auditioning bands. There's a lot of stuff we're already doing. And then we have a preview in July.
Okay.
So we have to have 5 bands and like 50 vendors. I have to simulate what Rockfest is going to be like next year.
Okay.
So it's like, how do I do that? But it'll work out, I think.
So, I don't know how much you can't say, but what can you say for next year's Chancla Academy Rock Out?
So we are looking at 40 bands, 4 stages, 10 bands a stage.
4 stages, okay.
Our goal right now with the local scene is we want to build up these bands that we're focused on right now so that they become, because we have good talent here. We want them to
Yeah.
be the nationals. We want them to be the norm of
Right.
what you listen
Right.
to.
Right.
But there's a band that ends with more at the end of it that we're looking at, and then we're also looking. I could say this out loud. It's I've been saying it, but we're looking at like Pierce the Veil.
Oh yes, dude.
We're looking at bands that they have connections with. Now, if that doesn't happen, I mean, it's not meant to, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, we want to keep everything strictly local for the most
Gotcha.
part. So we don't want people to depend that, you know, on having all these nationals, because then it totally ruins the idea of what we're doing.
No, for sure.
So
But having one national though would be cool, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's the
as
goal.
long as everybody else is local.
it's giving opportunities for the bands that have worked really, really hard. Well, all bands an opportunity to play the same event as a national. So that way they feel like they're really a part of something, because I've
Yeah.
done, with all my research, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of these big national bands, even some local national bands, refuse to play with, you know, Joe Schmo over there because of whatever.
Just
And it's
because,
like, I'm like, come on, you don't have to be a dick, you know, just give
Yeah.
them the opportunity. Maybe that's what they need.
Yeah.
So, but that's the goal with Rockfest every year is
Mm.
one, it's gonna be free every year,
Yeah.
and then two, we always want to try to invite a national that will provide a stage presence, right,
Okay.
for the entire event. But all these locals get to open up for this band. So, like, what more do you want?
Dude, fuck yeah, man. And so if for next year at Techport, are you still trying to make it free?
It's gonna be free.
Dude, that's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be free. I've said that so many times to these people. I was all like, over my dead body that we're gonna charge. Look, I need people to understand that you need to come in at no risk. And I get it. You know, like, how do you make money? How do you pay bands?
Right.
How do you do this or whatever? You know, we'll figure that out. You know, for the first 2 years or so, it's gonna kind of be at a point where it's like,
a little
okay,
rocky.
hey
Yeah.
guys, we may not be able to pay you. Dude, let me tell you something. These bands, obviously, and I'll say it out loud.
Yeah.
Nobody got paid, right? Nobody got paid. The bands
Mhm.
nobody got paid. But a lot of these bands walked away with like $500 worth of merch sales.
That's good.
You know, they got.
Oh yeah.
They made money. Everybody made money.
Yeah.
You know, it's the first one. Even with the second one, you think like, oh man, you should be able to have more money. No, there's.
Right.
Trust me, there's a lot of. I got to pay insurance for the
Oh,
arena.
yeah.
There's a lot of things I got to do, but our goal by year 3 is to be able to cut these bands
Year
a
3.
fat check.
Okay.
You know, to be like, here, not $200, not
Uh-huh.
$300, but like, here's $1,000. We want to pay them.
Yeah.
But I mean, for us, we're investing. This event is free to the public, but it's not free for me.
Gotcha.
I gotta pay. So,
But you know what, dude? It's either you're gonna sacrifice your time or you're gonna sacrifice money. Either way, you'll gain something out of it in the long run.
Mhm.
You know, you can't get anything without giving up a little bit of something. You know, you got to
Mhm.
give to get, right? So, with it being free, dude, I honestly think it'll work out in everyone's favor because the fucking beers are already $10, dude. Everything's fucking $10, dude.
Well,
like,
you think about it. If it's free, that $30, that person can be buying some band's merch.
oh yeah, that's
You know, and then again, it's a risk-free investment for the
Mhm.
community to become
Yeah.
invested into these bands, and that gives them more power in terms of getting more streaming, merch sales, followings,
Yep.
things like that. And so, there are people that are very close-minded to the idea because
Mhm.
all they see when they see these bands are dollar signs.
Yeah.
What I see is opportunity.
Yeah.
How can we help them grow? And then how can also we help the brand grow
Mhm.
so that we can give more opportunities as it continues.
Absolutely, dude.
So, you know, I get it. People need to make money, but something this big, it's hard when it comes to that. So
yeah,
you want to
yeah.
get everybody paid, but it's hard.
No, for sure, man. I mean, your head's in the right direction, you
Mhm.
know. And I know for a fact, dude, that some of these bands will believe in you too. And
A lot of them do. A lot of them get it. You know, we have a band like Recreating Eden, for
Mhm.
example, amazing fucking band.
yeah, dude, they're great.
You know, speaking to oh my god,
The singer.
no, Cameron. There you go.
Okay.
You know, he said something that really hit me, and he was just like, we understand that we have to invest
Yeah.
in something new like this so
Yeah.
that it can be successful.
Yep.
And once you start seeing that investment, grow, it'll pay off
Yep.
for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really fortunate to have a band like them, like, be a part of what Chancla Academy is doing, you know,
Yeah.
and
of course.
they believe in it. And we got people like Scum who believe in it, and
Yeah.
like, they're amazing. And so we're trying to get more and more, and, you know, it's going to take time. It's going to be hard
Of
to get them to
course.
see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But I think once they start seeing all these experiences happening, they're going to be like, "Wow, I got to get there." Nope, too late now. We got to get you in there. But no, I mean, it's about growth. I'm just starting out, and I get it.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Is there any other plans that you can say right now? I know you got to keep a lot of things under wraps, but
Yeah, I mean, other than Manguera water, we're coming out with our first ever, like, our own brand of water. So with Chancla Academy, we want to be sustainable, self-sustainable.
yeah.
So we want to be able to, instead of asking investors for money, we want to use this money to be able to like pay bands and pay for productions and stuff like that. And
Or like things that you need to make things happen.
Things that we need to make this happen. I'm also building a business for my kids.
Nice.
That they can have. But Manguera water is going to be based on just childhood memory and nostalgia and just kind of like looking back, and then like
Dope.
how we can use this money in the future. Like one of the biggest things, both of my kids are on the spectrum, and we're planning on with Manguera water to give some of our money to Latinos with autism.
Okay.
And so we want to give back to the community, and we want to make sure that they have something. This summer, as we're supposed to be starting, and hopefully I'll get it out there. We're starting an anti-bullying campaign called Be Contagious.
Good.
So, and it's, for the most part, it's going to be strictly like Latino based.
Yeah.
But we love the idea that laughter is contagious. So we think that positivity, inspiration, all that stuff can be contagious. And if we spread it like a disease, which doesn't sound good, but if we can, spread it and get everybody, sick with positivity.
Yeah.
Be
great.
People are going to grow, but I mean, that's pretty much it. I can't tell you anything else.
No, it's okay. That's all right. Because I know you mentioned a couple other things that you have coming up, but maybe it's best that we don't mention it, because like I said earlier, like it's better to like let people see what's happening instead of telling them what plans you have.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the only thing I told you earlier was, I mean, the children's book has been something that's been out there for a long time.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But it's still like kind of like getting to that step. Once it's done, then we'll be like, okay, here you go, here it is.
Right.
But everything that's coming up, I think people are gonna be in shock and be like, how is that even happening? Like, I don't know how much time we have left, but
no, we got plenty of time.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, other than this 4 big shows a year, we plan on doing mini shows in between that. So we developed something with Jefferson's Bodega called Demo Room at the Bodega.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a way to highlight new up-and-coming local bands.
Nice.
2 bands a night, 1 night, random, 24 hours in advance notice. That's all you get.
Nice.
And we're only inviting 20 people.
Good.
Then we have some stuff that we're going to be working with Peacock Alley, and then we have some acoustic stuff. I met a really cool guy who runs the sanctuary.
Okay.
And he's like, dude, it's like a church in there. It's like really acoustic.
What? I gotta check it out, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds dope.
I haven't seen it yet either. Like, I had the meeting with him, and he was like, what do I need to do? And I said, well, this is the plan. And then he was just like, well, we can provide that here. Okay. And so now we're gonna have a place for your grungy, metal stuff, and then a place for the acoustic stuff, and then a place for the more cool, poppy stuff. So, but we're not going to saturate the market with shows. That's not what even those shows are free.
Right.
But we don't want to saturate the market. We'll have our 4 big events a year, and in between that, we'll be like working with the bands on their social media and like everything that we need to train them to be a part of what the culture is now. Yeah. And they're excited. I mean, at Friday, they were like, I had Sloth come up to me and they're like, how do we do this? Everybody wants to be a part of something, but you got to provide something different. Yes. And that's what we're doing. That's
good, man.
Maybe Burger King is next. Play inside it.
Nah, how about Denny's, bro? Have you seen that video?
I know everybody.
What's up, Denny's?
Everybody's been telling me about that Denny's video, and then I'm like, well, this isn't a new concept. Yeah. Playing in the grocery store, but it's new to San Antonio in terms of it actually happening. Yeah. So for people to be like, what? Like, I think we had a decent group of people. We had dude, it was so amazing to see people coming in to buy their beers. Yeah. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? We had 2 dudes that just got off of work, bro. And they went and they're like, how long is this show? And we're like, oh, this is just the first band. They took off their work shirts. They were having their beers and they were just chilling out. Yeah. And they were just like, that was a great experience. How I had one of the guys was like, I had such a shitty day at work just to walk into this. Man. It just changed their entire evening. Yeah, dude. Fuck. it's that's what we're trying to capture.
Yeah.
Is it's exciting to see how music can change people's life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now these bands have new followers and stuff.
Yes. Yes.
A
Dude.
couple of people brought their kids,
Mm.
and that's our target demographic right now with the scene. You know, we want to redevelop the scene with these, you know, new teenagers who
Right.
don't know about the local stuff.
Yeah.
And for them to be there and be like, oh my God, this was so cool. Like, I feel like they felt like bad because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, should have we been here? But you know,
Yeah. Come on, bro.
yeah, we're really. I mean, I won't. I mean, I guess I can say, well, everybody else is focused on making money and putting on shows at bars.
Mm.
They forget that part of our music scene
Yeah.
is the younger generation.
Yeah.
And having to talk to a lot of these kids, man, and telling me the things they've been telling me, that like there's no room for us. We can't go to these
Aw,
places.
dude, yeah.
You know, we had like I don't know if I mentioned to you earlier, but we had like a big old group of teenagers at Rockfest, dude.
Mhm.
Their parents dropped them off.
Oh, that's so dope.
They're like, yeah, we've always heard about Warped Tour. It was
oh,
it?
that's so crazy to fucking hear, dude.
They're like,
what the hell?
and then some of them that have, they're like, they obviously they never got a chance to go to that.
yeah.
And they're like, is it like this? Is it anything like this? And I was like, man, dude, this is a fraction of what that is.
Wow.
But to see these teenagers, bro, that
Yeah.
are just starting to play guitar, or
Yeah.
even one kid came up to me, dude, and he was a little teary-eyed, man, and he was just like, I didn't really have my dad around, and this is so cool.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm going to start playing drums and I want to start my own band. He goes, do you think we could play Rockfest one year? And I go, dude, if you get your band started already and you work really, really hard, I'll have you on next year. And
So dope.
because I was so moved by that.
Yeah,
It's so,
yeah.
I mean, I don't share all these stories all the time, but it just, because I feel like I don't need to. I feel like those kids are going to show up,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And to just see these kids, man, just be
So
really
passionate, right?
passionate
So
about music.
passionate.
But like I said, I mean, it's not everybody. I get it. You know, these bands need to make money or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But you got to think about like all the people that come before you. How is your music going to live on? You know, hearing kids, hey, in the last 10 years, what have you listened to? I'm expecting to hear like local bands.
Puff
whatever.
Daddy.
Yeah, they're like Deftones, Slipknot. You know,
Yeah.
They have to go back an entire generation to understand what music is.
Right.
But the Warped Tour thing is what got me. And then seeing fathers who were in these bands say, my kid got to watch me for the first time play.
Oh, dude.
And
that's so dope.
Dude, it's moving because now
It is.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, I thought this was like a family-friendly festival. I was
Yeah.
like, it is. A Warped Tour was family-friendly.
Yeah.
People went with their kids and stuff.
Yeah, they did.
But, I mean, you're going to hear cussing. And yes, there are people drinking. But it was so good, dude. I felt like, I mean, the day it was supposed to rain.
It didn't.
And it didn't.
It didn't, dude.
The weather was perfect.
It was. It was.
Everybody was very well behaved. Everybody respected everything.
Yeah.
Man, I get emotional about it, and I think about I had one moment to reflect about it. I stood behind the entire beer company, and I just like looked up to the sky, and I just thanked I thanked my grandmother, and I was just like,
That's
thank
cool.
you, like thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing to deserve this, but thanks. Because if she was alive, she would have been there, dude. She would have been fucking just
watching you, man.
watching
Do your
and
thing.
rocking out.
Yeah.
And, you know, she'd be at the end of the night. She'd be yelling, "Hey, help me, who sweep up the trash? You were playing, right? Get the broom." But
Okay, send it out. Okay.
but I think we built some camaraderie. I mean, it was nice at the end of the night too. Some of the bands were helping me pick up the trash and stuff, and a lot of them understood what was happening. And we're going to continue to do more, and we hope that we inspire the new generation of musicians.
Dude, I'm calling it right now, bro. Your name is going to get big. It's almost like Game of Thrones or some shit, right? Like I'm not saying that you're the king of everything, but like there's a new guy coming through and people are following you. The support is what's gonna give you strength to make things happen,
yeah.
right? And also what comes with that is like people who fucking hate, dude, who are just gonna scold you just because you're making things happen.
Yeah.
So recently, like I don't know if you want to talk about it, we don't have to, but there was some people saying negative things. When you told me that you were getting death threats, that really fucking threw me off. I'm like, well, Joe doesn't seem like the type of guy to fucking make somebody angry. Like, goddamn. Like,
I think you gotta. I think the thing is people like to use fear to their advantage.
I see.
If they feel like if they make you feel like you're threatened enough, that you'll stop doing what you're doing. And I'm like, it's San Antonio. It's empty promises.
Yeah.
You know, except for that guy at the fucking Market Square. He got shot. But no, I feel like I said, I mean, they're empty promises.
Yeah.
It's scary because I have a family, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't need my wife and kids to be caught in the crossfire of something that has nothing to do with them.
Right.
You know,
course,
and
yeah.
I wish people would take that into consideration too. Like, hey, wait a second, how is this gonna affect this guy's family?
Yeah.
If you have beef with me, and this is to anybody in any situation,
Mhm.
if you hate me, be man enough to tell me to my face.
Right.
Like, just tell me to my face. Message me.
Yeah.
Talk to me. I'll give
Yeah.
you my number.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Talk to me.
Yeah.
Don't be a weasel and hit me up on a fake account, send me a message, and then block me.
No.
You know, it's like, don't do that. You know, be a man. I'm not strong. I'm 5'3". You know, a gust of wind will take me. So, you know, we don't have to worry about the physical part. But
Yeah.
I wish more people would be more act like adults and talk
Yeah. No,
and get things done. But you know,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Did you get your soundbite?
Yes. What do you mean?
He knows what I mean.
Miguel, what does he mean? A snippet? Oh, yeah. Oh, the reel. Yeah, the reel. Yeah. No. I mean, there's a whole bunch of reels I can do with this, but yeah, Joe. You're doing great, man. Keep it up.
Thanks. You're doing great yourself.
Thank you.
I love your podcast,
dude. I'm trying, man. I'm so glad that you mentioned that because one of my goals is to do like affiliate marketing or brand deals. Like that's one of my goals for this podcast in the future because right now, dude, like I'm not gaining any money. I'm losing money because I'm paying Miguel to help me with this. So I'm not getting anything out of it, but that's okay because in the beginning, you're not going to make anything. So I'm willing to sacrifice my time and my money and bring people in that I believe in, that I see doing things and put it out there in the world for people to see, to like grow.
Yeah.
It's all about growth, you know? So it's important to me, dude, to like, you know, I don't mind paying Miguel. I mean, I could just be like, come on, bro, hook it up. We're cool, right? You know, I could do that. But it's like Fatima said, bro, when she came in, she's like, money is an exchange of energy. If he's putting the time and effort to help me with this, it doesn't hurt to pay him a little bit of something. You know what I mean? So, yeah, dude, I see a bright future for myself and I plan on making big moves, you know, like even though I'm going to the oil field and that's going to be my new job, like I still want to be passionate about the things that are important to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? The creative things.
Yeah. And you'll be able to do that. I mean, I know people who work in the oil field. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I always tell people this is your hurdle. This is your hill right now that you have to climb, and you just got to continue to climb it until, you know, something's going to come of it. Maybe this is what you need, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure, dude. Oh, okay. I think I remember what I was going to say earlier, dude. So with the Happy Dad, I definitely want to be able to sponsor them on the podcast. But I think what Miguel was saying is I need to start out small first so that way I can have a portfolio of brands that I've sponsored. So like I've been trying to get in touch with whoever it is at Alamo Beer Company that does like the marketing, but I'm trying to get them on the podcast too. So that way I can have like the beers on the table or some shit and like promote their brand. But that's in the works too, man.
I think they'll be like, just buy a 6-pack and put it on your podcast.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for sponsorships and stuff like that, I will tell you this, like, especially with Alamo Beer, like you better go in there prepared because they just don't hand this shit out. Like they're very like, okay, well, like you know, whatever. I'll tell you afterwards. But I mean, you know, I think, but I will tell you this. It doesn't matter how many Red Bull cans you have up there, right? If they're giving you some money to pay whatever, that's not gonna make you any better,
right?
just know, and just from experience, because I don't do brand deals, I don't do stuff. I mean, I promote small businesses, but I'm gonna tell you right now, some of the stuff I have done, it does absolutely like nothing for you and your brand. Like, just stay true to yourself.
Okay.
You know, and I'm not saying don't chase brand deals and stuff,
right? But
it really does absolutely like nothing. Like it's not gonna. Somebody watching podcast isn't going to say, man, this guy should have 3,000 followers because Alamo Beer is freaking on his table. It doesn't work that way. And I think a lot of people have that mentality where it's like, well, if I have brands on here, then I look a little bit snazzier.
Well, honestly, bro, like I'm not looking for money. I mean, it would be nice, but honestly, I just want to like just help them out, I guess, you know, like, I mean, if I'm growing, you know, well, I mean, Alamo beer companies are bigger than me, obviously, but I think it would be cool just to say like, oh yeah, Alamo Beer Company, they hooked it up with a free couple cases of beer and just for me to fucking show the brand. I didn't ask for any money,
Yeah.
But so that way in the future for bigger companies, like, it would be cool to have like a payday so that way I can invest it back into the podcast or into merch. I'm planning on getting merch, dude, like beer mugs, coffee mugs, shirts, and hats and all that shit,
Mug.
Yeah, dude. So that's something that would help me get those things, and then just reinvest it and then just grow from there, dude. So that's definitely the plan for sure.
Yeah. No. Well, I'll give you advice afterwards.
Yes. How much is it gonna cost me?
Nothing. So
damn, nothing is a lot. Nothing dollars.
Nothing dollars. Information is free. That's what I try to tell people. Is like, stop paying for information. You just Google that shit.
Oh yeah. So with you doing all this, all this experience that you're gaining, do you feel that you'll be able to take this knowledge into the future for like other potential money moves, I guess I could say? Because at the end of the day, you need to eat too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think, will I be like the next Gary Vee? No. But I think
with that attitude, no, you won't.
No, I mean, Gary Vee is good at what he does because that's Gary Vee. That's his thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the way that I'm going to make my money is, again, creating product that's a part of my brand that's going to make me self-sustainable, like Manguera water. And then there's other things that we're doing on the side, other products that we're working on that are going to help me grow as well. So it's like I'm already in that mindset of like, okay, how are we going to expand in this way? We have our own streaming platform coming up, which is on TV.
Ooh.
So we have a thing with the, Apple TV and Amazon Prime.
That's the one you can't say too much about right now, right?
But I will tell you that.
Listen up, everybody.
I will tell you that I see how social media is moving right now.
Yes.
And it is not going to really be the future of so much. Trust me.
No, I trust you.
You gotta. I think people have to understand that with social media, everything is becoming. And I use the word saturated a lot because somebody else can tell you and say, "Well, that guy's completely wrong. Like he doesn't know what he's talking about." But you look at the way our government is handling social media platforms and stuff. And pretty soon you're not gonna be able to do much. And it's gonna be
censored.
Yeah. And the direction that we're moving in with the whole television thing is there's no likes, there's no comments. Yeah. Yes, there's the viewership part or whatever.
Right.
But I truly believe that streaming for a content creator to have his own streaming platform is the future. And I want to be ahead of the game. I feel like in the next 5 to 10 years, I will be at a point where people are like, man, I should have jumped on that. Just like with TikTok, I thought TikTok was the dumbest thing on earth.
I thought it was too. Yeah, I thought it was too.
It's been the most biggest blessing,
like beneficial thing.
Yeah, it's helped me out. So it's like, what do we do? Because I'm tired of telling people, follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Oh, go to my Patreon. I don't have one, but people have all these platforms, and it's like, oh God, like
I have to follow this, I have to do that. I have to,
it's very unmotivating. And so it's just like, so what do we do next? How do we create one hub?
Right.
And so streaming is like the hub for me, where all of that content is going to be there. There's no guidelines, there's no rules, nothing. You can literally do softcore porn on there, dude, and it doesn't go away.
True.
And there's a lot of money to be made.
Yes.
In that streaming platform.
I agree. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well now we have to convince people. So for like the first year, we're going to be doing stuff on YouTube just to get my following acclimated to long form content from me.
Ooh, okay.
So once we get them to that point where they're like, okay, I do enjoy long form content from Joe, and I would go to a streaming platform to watch something even longer. But we are already we're already in pre-production with 4 shows.
Dude, yes.
And once those are done, they're like 8 episodes each. We'll have content the moment we launch that thing.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, we're not like, there's a lot of really cool stuff that we're working on. We're even working on our very own like SNL type thing, music shows, everything, and then we have the ability to broadcast live. So like if we wanted to do news, we could literally do live news, live anything.
Yeah.
So I mean, stuff like that does take a little bit of money to run.
Of course.
But we already have backers that are like, let's do this because
Really?
yeah, because
Investors too?
yeah, investors too.
Oh,
You know, they're
yes.
just like, if we do it and
Mhm.
it's successful, you know, we stand to make a shit ton of money.
Yep.
And then it doesn't. The biggest secret of it, I mean, it shouldn't be a secret, but not only that, now we've created a platform where more creators will come and they will
Yeah.
create content. Like we have something called Chancla Academy Texas coming out next year.
Oh, so awesome.
So Chancla Academy Texas is we've already found our 5 main creators: Austin, Dallas, Houston, and Corpus. They are going to make content based on what I do, but in their barrios, and their food,
so
and
awesome,
their
dude.
music and stuff. And now you can come and you have that hub. You don't have to look everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's no algorithms. There's no
dude.
like here. It's all about discoverability.
Yeah.
And you have to find this stuff.
Yeah.
And that way we get people back into the app and streaming and say, well, I didn't see that. I need to go back and see that.
Yeah.
You know, we need people to make their own choices.
Dude,
So,
that's good, man. I really love what you believe in, dude. Like the whole idea, you know, and all this that you're doing is gonna make you a good businessman. You already are, basically.
yeah, people
you
tell
know?
me you're an influencer. I'm like, no, I consider myself a businessman, but I also I say I'm a like marketing strategist or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
Well,
it's
you're
supposed to
learning
be.
as you go, though, you know.
Yeah.
So you're getting better at it.
But I'm gonna tell you, like anybody can do what I'm doing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
anybody. It's not hard. It's once you kind of figure out the game,
Mm-hmm.
you're just like, oh, why didn't I like?
Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
But that's what I try to tell people all the time. But people want the immediate success.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
they I got 1 million followers, and I had a video that went viral. Now I'm gonna start charging people $8,000 to. I'm like, that's
To
the
look at
problem.
me.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's why I try to tell people. I was like, anybody can go viral. A spoon on a table, dude. There's an egg on TikTok that's viral. It's got like the most views. It's just an egg.
Yeah.
That just tells you that
Oh my God.
it doesn't matter what you do, and if an egg can go viral, anybody, dude. I know
Anybody. Yeah.
there are accounts with no followers.
Mm.
They post a video on there. It's got like 30 million views.
Yeah.
Anybody can go viral.
Yeah.
I've had videos that hit 10, 15, 20 million views, and I'll get like 50 followers from it.
That's crazy.
So that's why I try to get people to understand that
Yeah.
social media, to me,
It's a powerful tool.
It's a powerful tool, but it's also dying because we're starting to see what it really is. But people just, that can't be true. I'm still kind of, once you understand, it's just like, you know, and then having people that work at these companies and then they tell you like, hey, the algorithm's going to dip next week. And now I'm like, I'm not going to post any content.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
true.
they're like, it's going to go up next week. Start posting. And then,
Yeah.
so it's crazy to hear those things.
Yeah.
It's
no.
like insider trading.
Right.
Hey, the stock market's going to go up next week. You better put in your money.
Yeah.
And dude, I've had stupid videos go viral. I showed my daughter's teeth one time. I got 20 million views. I'm like, why did that go viral, but the one
Yeah.
before it didn't go viral?
I don't know, dude. In my opinion, some of these things just fucking happen, but at least you're doing it, though. Like,
Yeah.
imagine if you didn't do anything at all. Like, nah, it's not going to go viral. I'm not going to post it. You never know. You'll never know.
Well, see, that's what I understood right away is I was like, look, if I post this, it's going to go viral. But I knew immediately that if I did not like build my following like locally, and I mean like locally, not followers locally, but like got out into the community in the real world, and I didn't actually build the relationships, I would not be where I'm at right now in terms of success or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, as a business person, you have to set yourself up for the failure or the decline that comes. So, I mean, if for anybody who decides that they want to do this, you know, just know that you need to set yourself up for the successes, but you also need to sit and for the failures, because guess what? If look at TikTok might get banned.
Yeah.
I have almost 500,000 followers on there.
I think they passed a bill, or they're trying to get it to
Like a restriction law.
Yeah, I forgot how a law works, right? But I remember from the Schoolhouse Rock, it's like I'm just a bill. Yeah. So then I don't know. They're trying to ban it, dude. And their excuse is that like because they get sensitive information. But then I'm like, well, if you're not a government official, or if you're a government official, don't fucking download it, right?
Yeah.
Like let everybody else fucking get their info hacked. Like,
We're getting attacked by balloons.
that's funny, dude.
Yeah, no, but You never know. Things change. Things happen really fast.
Dude, and you know what, man? And I keep saying this to everybody because, like I told you, Joe, like I have to believe that the things that I want in life are going to happen. I have to.
Yeah.
I have to see it as real as I see everything else in front of me. So I was going to wait to announce this later, but I decided to do a segment on the podcast called Cooking and Cocktails.
Oh, nice.
And like what I'm going to have, dude, is I'm going to have like bartenders, like different bartenders, like doing
Oh,
specialty
sweet.
drinks, and then have like chefs and cooks like cook like at least 3 meals and then like have us try it. So like I'll try to do it like once a week, every 2 weeks or anything. But like it's ideas like that, dude, that give me the confidence to know that everything that I want to do, dude, I want a fucking yacht, bro. Like I want a nice house. I want a room for my son. I want to pay off my dad's house. I want more money, you know, to support myself and people I care about. It's coming, dude. It's coming,
dude,
you know
that's see, I like hearing stuff like that. That is such an out of the box idea.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's inspired by anything, because that's what art is. It's inspired by many things, right? So to hear that, like that makes me excited for you because you're thinking out of the norm. Somebody might look like, "Why are you gonna do that?" You know, invite me. I know how to make. You know, it's like, bro, whatever.
I can make menudo.
Yeah, no, I mean, they just kind of piggyback off of that. There's this guy named Rob's Barbecue, dude. He cooks at home. Like he makes exquisite food.
Oh, that's so dope.
And
man.
I did my first ever like food review at somebody's house, and like now people are like trying to hire him for catering and shit. It's
really,
just, yeah.
Oh, that's so fucking awesome.
So
man.
it's like you have to learn to evolve, because I wouldn't do something like that, right? Because you know you're cooking at home, and the people look at that as like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
But trust me,
como like, oh.
did he wash his hands? Is the food good? Like, come, because it's not in a
restaurant
in a
establishment.
building.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's in a building. It's in his house. Like he can cook.
Nah.
It's good. He's got a gas stove. Yours is electric. That's why your carne tastes horrible. Gonna fucking wait 30 minutes to heat up the fucking stufa. But yeah,
right?
no, dude, I hate those electric stoves, man.
Oh, dude, you know what? So like, I'm realizing now, like I watch Binging with Babish, and like,
oh, dude,
I love his stuff, and like he uses the flame. He doesn't use electrical,
Yeah.
and now I understand why, dude. Because you can get heat like this. Also, like you don't have to like leave in a service. Sometimes they're bent, so like the pot's all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So gas stove for sure.
Gas. Now they're trying to ban gas too.
Yeah, man.
The hell?
They're trying to ban rain too. We can't get no rain.
Damn, if my electricity goes out, then my stove does too. Now you can't eat.
Oh yeah, dude, they don't want you to eat.
Yeah, right there. Hey, how do we starve half of America? Cut out their power.
That's right.
But psych to them. I learned how to use toilet paper for fucking open flame on TikTok. So good luck with that.
Joe, it was a pleasure getting you on, man. I wish you the
thank you
best.
for
No, you
having
know
me.
what? You are gonna have the best, bro. Like I bring it into existence, dude. You're already doing all the right things. All
Yeah.
you need is time now.
Yeah.
That's it, man. But I'm gonna be looking out for like your future endeavors, for the future shows. I'm gonna be sharing your stuff, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It was very, very cool, dude, to be able to do my first like coverage of a festival.
Yeah.
when
Speaking of that, I mean, you're gonna do some stuff with us for URL.
Yes. Okay. Well, I didn't know if you could talk about that or not. So,
I could.
Yeah, guys. So I guess I'm gonna be working with Joe Chancla Academy. He saw me cover the festival that day, dude. And you know what's crazy is like when I heard about the festival, I was like, dude, this is the first ever. Like not just because of Chancla Academy, not just
Right.
because of you, but it's the first of something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting chills, dude. Like,
Yeah, I see that.
like that's important to me, man. Because when a brand starts off, like I think about like fucking Gatorade, Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
What else? Like anything that we know today, Liquid Death, right?
Yeah,
Like they all
they're-
started somewhere, dude. So like to see the first like festival, I had to be there.
Yeah.
And dude, and that was my first time doing live interviews like that.
Yeah,
You
I was
know?
really impressed. I was just like, oh my God, like, where has this guy been? Like, I've been trying
Yeah.
to find somebody like this. It's hard to find like natural talent and people that genuinely like love to do what they do. And you could see it, you know, gleaming in your eyes. Like this is what I love to do. I love talking to people.
I do, man. I fucking love it so much, dude. Like, and I wasn't always like this either, dude. Like I used to have like low self-esteem. I got picked on and bullied when I was little, you know.
I can empathize.
And it wasn't until I think, dude, when I was about 17, I started going to house parties.
Mhm.
I think that helped me a little bit become who I am today, because I would be talking with everybody. I'd be like, hey, how you doing? Arturo, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
With everybody, dude, I would introduce myself. And then that gave me more confidence and more and more and more. And I became like this big social person.
Yeah,
you know?
I wasn't like this either. I
Mm.
can tell you, just like maybe 10 years ago, I wasn't like this. I didn't have a speaking bone in my body.
Really?
I remember I did like my first live ever on Instagram when Instagram was a thing, and I would be like, I didn't know what to say or what to do. Now
Okay.
people are like, oh, hey, are you a professional? I'm like, no. Like,
Pussy way.
it sounded like you said pussy way.
I know. I didn't want to say it though. My bad. C way.
No, but no, man. I mean, I appreciate you having me on, and it's gonna be great to have you, like, doing some stuff with
Thank
us.
you.
I think
Thank you.
you can help, do what we're doing to grow a little bit more.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm excited. So
Absolutely, dude. And that day, man, like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, I was like pretty sober. Sometimes, like when I would play with Mira Laveau, dude, I would drink before our shows. And before we ended off, dude, I don't know if I told you, Miguel, but there was one time, dude, we played. I think we opened up for Hell the Sun, and we played in the mini room, not the main stage, at Paper Tiger.
yeah,
Dude, that day, like I took a couple shots of whiskey, right? And
Yeah.
usually I'll drink a beer so I don't get too fucked up. We get on stage, dude, we're playing, and in the middle of a song where I'm not singing, I'm like this. Like I wanted to throw up.
yeah,
And I was like, dude, please hold it together. Don't do it. Don't do it. But usually I will try to drink to calm the nerves.
yeah.
Because even though I am a sociable person, I feel like a little bit of alcohol, you know,
Yeah.
kind of. So that day at the festival, I was 100% sober, dude. And I was nervous as fuck.
You
Like,
got Jessica was fucking.
who?
Jessica from Perfect Season.
Jessica Redgate?
Is from Perfect Season.
Yeah, Jessica, yeah.
I told her, I was like, man, you were hammered in that interview. You're just like, yeah, I fucking was it. And I was telling you, I love everything that's going on. I was just like, because I have this inside joke that I always pick on her. I was like, I'm not drunk yet, because that's her shtick all the time. I mean,
Really? That's what she says?
Yeah. She's like, I remember when I first met her at Homie, so she's like, she had the cup in her and she's like, I just want to let you know, I'm not drunk yet. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm like, oh, okay. Well, please.
I don't know what you're saying. I love you, Jessica. But that was the inside joke. But I saw the interview. I was like, oh my God.
Really?
Like, but you were just like,
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I think because at that point I was drinking a little bit. But
Yeah.
but yeah, dude, when I walked up, dude, especially with Upon a Burning Body, like one thing that I try to tell myself when it comes to big bands is like at one point they were small. Remind yourself that they're just like you. They're
Right.
average guys. Treat them
Yeah.
like you've known them your whole life. Don't treat them like, oh my God, I'm such a huge fan.
Yeah.
You know, and that's okay to do. But somebody said a comment to me one day when I went to go see one of Kurt Travis's band. I looked up to him growing up. He used to be in Dance Give a Dance. And when I met him, I was like, hey, dude, nice to meet you, Arturo. But in my head, I was like, oh, shit, it's fucking Kurt Travis, dude. Like, but like one of the homies was like, dude, if you treat them like you've known them their whole life, they'll treat you the same way.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you treat them like
I
you're
agree.
a fan, they're going to treat you like a fan.
Yeah.
So when I went out to Upon a Burning Body, dude, I tried to remind myself the same thing. I was like, hey, Danny, bro, good to meet you, man, finally, you know,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
You were so nervous. You're like, you know who it is. There's no
Yes,
no
dude.
introduction needed.
I was,
This is
dude.
Upon a Burning Body. And I was like, this bro just introduced them.
Dude, I was like,
I could tell you were
but
nervous a little bit.
I try to play it off, man. I
Yeah.
do, like, and that's why you hear me all loud, bro. Like,
Yeah,
now
you-
I know not to be fucking loud, but like,
You're like, what, Danny? Like right in his face. He's like, yeah, I gotta.
and I was like, yeah, dude. And then what else did you do? And he's like, well, I mean, we just did these things, and it's gonna be cool.
That's the perfect facial expression.
yeah.
Danny's just really.
And then I'm like, what? Nah, man. But thank you so much for being on the podcast,
No,
dude. It was
thank
great
you.
having you, and
It's good.
it's gonna be great, dude.
All right,
We're doing great things. Thank you, bro.
things.
Thank you.
Yeah.